Greetings fellow 50p collectors, Coin Snatcher here. Firstly, hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, plenty of Jack Daniels, plenty of gin, plenty of junk food, just like I did. So we're back to the 50p collecting, a couple more coins to do before we get to the New Year celebration. But the coin, well, believe it or not, the coin we're looking at tonight is from the Isle of Man Christmas 50p collection. So we go way back to 1980 and the first Christmas coin that was released. And we have this particular coin down here on the big red book. And if we have a little zoom in on it, we can see that the die mark on this coin is AA. For anybody who's new, the die mark is just over here behind the little man in his top hat and tails. So I've been checking eBay recently and trying to see if there's any more variations on this 50p, because myself and Les, the 50p collector, were both convinced that because there's variations on the other die marks in this series, there's bound to be variations on the AA die mark. So we have a coin that has arrived today, and just to try and make things easier, I'm going to pop this down on top of the other coin. We'll get it as close as possible, and then excuse my shaky hands, that's a lack of Jack Daniels today does that. And if we have a little zoom in on it, we can see the two AA die marks. So you'll notice the coin on the left hand side, the AAs are a little space between them. They're a little bit more worn, they're not as tall, the tails are a bit harder to identify on them. But if we go over to the right hand coin, you can see the two A's are very clearly distinguished. The tails in the middle of the two A's join each other, so it almost looks like there's just one big tail in the middle. And my main reason for buying this coin originally was that I was convinced that if you look at the gap at the top of the AA on the right hand coin, it's much smaller than the gap on the left hand coin. So I'm pretty happy that these are definitely two different variations now that we have on the AA die mark 50p. Even though the one on the left hand side is worn, it sits closer to the man hanging off the back of the carriage. So really happy. In fact, if you do have a little look, you can just see the tail on this guy on the right hand A on the right hand side, and when you compare it to the coin here, you can see there's quite a clear difference between the two of them. So just move this over a little bit. And let's just see if we can get an even closer zoom in on this. So there we go. I think when you can see it with a bit more focus, maybe that's a bit too much of a magnification. But there we go. I think it's quite clear to see that these are definitely two different AA die marks. So very happy indeed with this coin. And what we'll do is pop this into the tray. I will have to make another space now, and very nice indeed to add another 50p to the Isle of Man Christmas 50p collection. Les, the 50p collector, he tweets on Twitter like a little birdie every so often about his coins, but Les has an impressive 50p collection as well, and I think the two of us are having a bit of a friendly competition to see if we can manage to get every single die mark available on the 1980 series of Christmas 50p's. At the minute, we reckon there's probably 14 different coins to collect. But as we go through the different die marks and we try to collect variations on the die marks, we expect that figure to go up. And we have started a little Facebook group just specifically for Isle of Man Christmas 50p collectors. So if you're into this series of coin or you want to join the Facebook group, just pop on over, put in the Isle of Man Christmas 50p collection, and it should bring up our group. Hit the old request button, and providing you're not a total scumbag, we'll allow you to join our group. It's quite a small group, but it's quite elite. And the whole point of the group is really just to share knowledge of these Christmas 50p coins and if anybody has an interest in one, they'll be more than welcome to put up a picture of it. And if there's one that Les or myself doesn't have, then we would be very interested to see that. So there's a few more coins to arrive yet. Not sure whether the Royal Mint have decided to go back to work after Christmas / after they've been sitting on their lazy arses for weeks on strike. They've held the whole country to ransom. It's absolutely disgraceful. The only thing that annoys me more than the Royal Mint are cyclists. Although today I was quite annoyed because there's people out riding horses. I mean, riding horses in the public road. Horses have absolutely no use. The last time we needed a horse was when we had people standing on a carriage like that, and the horse actually had a use. It would pull the carriage along. Now it's just bearded old women dressed up like farmers that go out riding their horses, and they take them out along the country roads, and they hold up the innocent motorist like myself who's just trying to go about his daily business. And if it's not bloody horses and people riding horses down country lanes, it's cyclists. And if it's not cyclists, it's the Royal Mail parked up in their red vans, sitting in their van doing nothing when they should be delivering mail. Anyway, I'm not going to start and rant about that. Hope you had a really great Christmas, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you on the Facebook group. Any questions at all, just drop them to us, and Les or myself will do the best to answer them. But for this video, that's it for now. Peace and love. Coin Snatcher out.